Crafty friends, welcome back to the Old Paper Lady. I'm Lori. If you're new here, hi and welcome. Thank you for joining us. So yesterday I made this patchwork cover, glued all the things down. So I took and did a zigzag stitch. You can see, I don't know how much that's going to white. It's whitewashing everything out. Let me tone this light down. But I did a zigzag stitch all the way around it. I glued this lace here on the bottom, and I folded this part here yesterday just to see if there's any pieces that needed to be glued down, and I did that already. So now I was thinking about, remember this topper that we made? I was thinking about trying to put her on there, and I think that is going to be just cutie patootie. And then the inside cover is going to be this fabric that I had from the Dollar Tree. And then I found, while I was looking for a fabric to go to the inside of this, I found these for our tall skinny butterfly journal. So I think that's what we're going to do for that. So let's try to fix this today and glue those together and put the topper on it. And I'm just working on covers while I'm sitting here waiting to be dug out from the frozen 3 inches of ice on my road. I'm just irritated. That's all I can say. I'm just irritated. Can't get out. And they really aren't, you know, there aren't even any trucks coming, you know, on the main road in the front of the house. They scraped it a few times that one evening, and that's it. I hadn't seen nobody else. So I don't really know. I don't know what to say. I just know I'm greatly irritated. Now I'm wondering if I need to overhang these like that and cut it, or if I want to do the corners down. I think I'm going to do the corners wrapped around it like normal. Is what I think I'm going to do. See, let's kind of go the smooth sides up. Okie doke. I just got my glue sitting over here. Now get my sleeves pulled up so I don't get Fabri-Tac all over them. But yeah, I'm just so pretty much I've missed the whole week of work, which is quite irritating. You know, and then this weekend we're supposed to have I don't know, 4 to 8 inches of snow again. They're still waiting to see where the low's going to line up and all of that. If it lines up where it's going to run a little bit more inland, then we're probably going to get a little bit more than 4 to 8 inches. So who knows? All right, so I need to pull this and pull that. But yeah, so that's our state of emergency right now in North Carolina. Is we need some snowplow people is what we need. Which, you know, a lot of people are like, you can't push this because it's just nothing but ice. Which, you know, well, you can if your plows are running the road. You know, the main thoroughfares are like 52 and 77. That's all they really worry about in our county. And if those are cleared to them, the roads are fine. No, they're not. Any and all roads in and throughout and around town, besides 601, 89, and 52, are still pretty much covered in ice. Nobody's, you know, moving around, going nowhere. So it's just awesome, pretty much awesome. And again, like I say, all that's been moving around out here are these whatchamacallit things. It's the gator type trucks and stuff. That's all that's moving out here. Them little side by sides and stuff like that. So we're just here stuck at the house. Now, I don't really mind, you know, because we got plenty of provisions, you know. But I don't like missing a whole week of work, and then, you know, just because I don't like missing a whole week of work. It's a whole week's worth of money, you know. I mean, my bills are fine and everything's took care of, but still, you know, that's about $600 that I lost this week, not counting tips, you know, and stuff like that. So that's a little irritating. I can do a whole lot with $600 in a Dollar Tree. Well, here lately you can't, because, you know, they went up to $1.50 on everything, but still, you know what I'm saying? Even if I didn't have, which I didn't out of this past check and this coming check, I didn't have no bills, but, you know, I got to save money from the checks to pay the bills that are due in the middle of the month. Somehow or another, all of my bills have gotten due to where they are due on the 12th of the month. And I don't know how that worked out, but everything that I need to pay and owe for is due around the 12th of the month. So I do regular shopping. I save up, you know, just in case something happens. I have my bills for next month, which, you know, had I been able to work this week, I would have had all my bills paid, you know, on the 6th for the whole month. And then the other checks, you know, it's just extra, you know what I'm saying? Just put it up, buy up groceries, stock up stuff, you know, pay extra on payments and stuff like that. And that's usually what I do. You know, and then, because then I also know that the property tax is about to come out, so usually in January I always try to have at least half the property tax put back, because I don't really go nowhere, you know. In the summertime we'll go out and eat or what have you, you know, meet up with the other kids and dine out a little bit. But most of the time during the winter time, I'm at home. I'm cooking in a crock pot. You know, that's my favorite time of year, to just be in the house. You know what I'm saying? Well, I've been in the house too much. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get out. I'm not plumb stir crazy yet, but, you know, I'm just I'm ready to get out of the house now. And especially seeing as how, you know, they're calling for another snow. So then I said, well, if need be, if we do get to, you know, where it is a foot of snow or whatever, and we need to get somebody to go to the store or something for us, we'll see if our neighbor down here on his on one of them four-wheeler things can run to the store and get us, you know, pop or something. Pop is soda for us, you know. I know a lot of people say soda. We don't say soda here in North Carolina. It's pop. If you say soda here, you're like, what are you talking about? Baking soda, that's what we're like. Yeah, we got baking soda. What you need baking soda for? And it ain't soda, it's sody. Baking soda. I'm like, what are you talking about, baking soda? It's baking soda. No, it ain't. It's baking soda. We got baking soda in her. But yeah, so I mean, you know, as far as like water and stuff like that, and as long as we have power, we're good. We got plenty to cook, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And I'm just complaining because I can't get out and go to work. You know, most of the time I'm complaining because I got to go to work. You can't make me happy. You just can't. And then yesterday, after I went out and cleaned the cars out, I was really feeling really sick. My back was hurting and cramping up because, you know, you stiffen up your muscles, you know, and walk vicariously through, you know, just real ginger-like. Because it, like I literally say, it is nothing. And I mean nothing but ice. I stepped out and I said, woo, yeah, this is a little bit worse than I thought it was. Because, you know, you step out and you're expecting to sink down a little bit, but no, honey, you didn't sink nowheres. Oh, yeah, I think that's going to be okay. Wrapping that around, yeah. I actually like that. Okie doke. So, there's our cover there. I'm just going to, I think I'm going to put it on this one here, just because I want it, you know, to make sure that it catches right here on the edge of this. I don't want to put it too far out. But we're just going to go on ahead and put it on the edge here. Especially down here on this little strip of scrap fabric here. I really do think that was a piece off of a pillowcase or something there. The little fringe down at the bottom. I just thought it would be cute on here. And I was just sitting here playing last night after I got done sewing it. And I was like, shut up, that would be so pretty to have that piece on there. Let's see, it doesn't kind of really matter. So what I'm doing is I'm just lining this up down here with this this border here. And then we're gonna see. We need to get this up here. And as you can tell, I've been printing. I got yellow stains on pretty much all my fingers. I've been printing stuff last couple of days. I've printed a bunch of stuff off my phone, printed a bunch of stuff off the laptop, and so that's what I've been doing. That's why I said that one evening I felt a little rough. I was like, you know, didn't really feel like crafting, but I wanted to make something, you know, just something to keep me busy. You know, and then here I am. I'm like, I'm normally begging for all the time in the world to do this and that and other, and I've had all the time in the world this week, but, you know, you run outside, you knock the ice off of the heat pump, you take the dog out, you know, you got to go scrape and break the ice loose from the back door to get out. And I mean, it's just a lot of ins and outs, and it's just, you know, then when you get done with that, you're froze to death, and you're just sitting in front of the heater like, oh, freezing, I'm freezing, you know. So that's what it's been this week. Yeah, I think that is gonna work. I'm gonna be super happy with that. And let's just fold it up here. Get these edges met up. Do a puff crease like that, because you know the outside was already creased. And I'm just going to take my bone folder and I run it right down into it real hard so it won't pucker up. If it puckers up, there we go. Now let's open it up and see. Oh yeah, see, that's why I do that. Run it in there, and you can see where the fabric was folded, and that's fine. But I'll run when I have it folded, I just take the pointed edge of the bone folder and run it right in that. Now, when you do that with paper, be careful, because you will, you know, and I mean, I put a lot of pressure on it to make sure that it doesn't buckle up my fabric or what have you, because that'll hinder me sewing in my paper kit. So now we're gonna put us hopefully find a bright pink. I think that'll work. Now, do I have a clue as to what journal kit's gonna go in here? Nope. I may just pull out some lace back pages and some coffee dye and tea dye, and, you know, make a page kit out of that. Who knows? Who knows? Alright, so now let me try to get these about-ish the same length here. And that's my ties. And this color is And I'm as blind as a bat, y'all. I think it says Sunrose. Can y'all see that? Oh, look, it'll blow it up on my camera. Yeah, Sunrose. So I've sat and looked at my cellular device so long today that I'm about cross-eyed. You know, all of that, everything's just, you know. And I hope that neighbor down there tomorrow scrapes this. I thought he was going to do it this evening when he got in, but he could barely get his daggum truck up the hill today because the neighbor that lives across the road, like right here across the road from us, she's got her SUV stuck down there in the pull-in from the main road, and he about slid in and hit her SUV because he didn't see it. So yeah, that's what we got going on. Then I'm assuming that the neighbors that had their car stuck in front of the house out here wound up getting somebody to come tow it or whatever because it was missing today. And I had never really seen that car. My mom and my daughter said they thought it was a neighbor that lived out the road from us up the dirt road hill. And I was like, well, they ain't gonna get up that dirt road. I'll tell you that. But yeah. So then, you know, on the social media around here, you know, everybody's a fussing and complaining, and all you see is, how's the roads, this and that and other, how's this, how's that. Well, honey, look out your window, and whatever your road looks like is pretty much what the rest of the roads look like. Just saying. And then, because we were all like, yeah, they did not plan to treat ice. They thought, you know, they planned to treat snow. And then, so then they're like, well, you know, it's not going to do any good for us to scrape this. It's just solid sheet of ice. It's actually going to damage our vehicles. And, I mean, they've put every excuse under the sun they could from the city office here. Which, I mean, you know, yeah, I get it. But you know what? Had you been out and scraping and trying to clean the stuff while it was in action like they normally do when it's snowing, you know, they'll make a pass once the air out through here when it's snowing and stuff. They didn't do that this time. They waited till the storm was over with before they even came out at all. And I was like, what is going on with the cleanup? So pretty much basically, like I said, those roads that I named, you know, that's all they worried about cleaning up. Everything else is just not done. Now let's see, do I want this or that? That makes it look more blue, don't it? That makes it look more teal. Let's do that one with that. Okie doke. So then we got our colors for pieces. Oh. But yeah, other than just being stuck, not being able to move out of the daggum driveway, everything else we're doing all right, I reckon. I'm just going to put the antique gold on here because I got the most of them, and I got a bunch in that other box over there too. And then probably what am I going to put on this one over here too? Antique. Do that. That one, I need to go over here and get the corner protectors for them. I don't know if I'll do that one or not. I want to make something. I think we'll do this one at a later date. I might do that one off camera. I ain't really wanting to do it right now because I don't have too much bad Fabri-Tac on me. Some, you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. I don't have a whole bunch of Fabri-Tac on me, so let's just leave it at that. We'll just have our bits out here. But it's mainly, you know, to show you what I finished doing with the journal cover. Let you know that I am doing okay. We are still iced in. And expecting to be, has some more on its way. Friday night and Saturday. And then, so, alright now, where is it? Where are you at there? Goodness gracious. But then the good thing is you know, it's going to be cold Saturday, Sunday, and then possibly Monday. But after that, it's going to be like 40-some degrees. So then, you know, hopefully it'll come and melt fairly quickly when this other one comes through. And that is a wee bit close to the edge there, ain't it? It's all right. So yeah, my daughter, she's woke up over the night with the stuffed up head to run it in all the sinus issues. And then, like I said, you know, my throat was real raspy and all of this and that after we got out and tried to clean the cars up, and I was just like, yeah, I just don't feel good. And she's like, I really don't feel good either. She's blowing her nose and all this and that, and she's got NyQuil and stuff. And I was like, okay, well, you probably need to go on ahead and start taking that stuff. There we go. So she's been working from home all this week. And she said probably the way the news is talking, looking like it's going to be, you know, work from home again next week. I said, yeah. I said, I've been talking to order takers and stuff like that for my job. They'll call and text and say, you know, hey, they're doing these out of dates, or they're doing this and that and other, whatever, you know. I think that is going to be cute there. I think that's what I want to do. Just to tone some of that brightness down. I think so, yep. I think that's what I'm doing. When I set that up and let it drain back down. I'm gonna see, Carrie, if that does the trick. It ain't doing the trick. That stuff there stuck underneath it. I want it where it's out. And I want this on the edge here. Oh. Okay, now. Trying to get it pretty much right in the middle. Oh yeah, that is cute. Yes. I like it. I like that a lot. So what I was wanting to do is, like, from time to time, is just taking you know, makeup journal covers or what have you, like all that fabric and stuff. I'll probably work some, you know, off camera to do up journal covers and stuff like that. And then have me a box and just have, you know, pre-made journal covers in it. Is really kind of what I really need to do. Do I have glue on my finger, or am I just, I don't know. It felt a little sticky. I might have smushed some out the top of it there. But yeah, I think that is cute. I like that a lot. Okay, so there's that cover. And y'all know the one I was talking about where I have like the butterfly thing from Shaylee Morehouse. So it's a tall, skinny journal. And then I sized it up to where these here would be on the front. So I think that's going to work. Yep. That's what I think. I think it'll work. And I had to do some work on the glue bottles last night. I had to get this one and the other one where I've got that Aleene's tacky glue, or Aleene's, what is it? Aleene's Fabric Fusion. Remember, it wouldn't come out the spout yesterday. Well, I got it straightened out and cleaned up. Okay, so that is 9 inches right there. So now let's, it's going to be a little bit awkward trying to put it down, because I'm wanting to try to make sure that I get those butterflies right there on the front cover. I left myself a little sliver over there, didn't I? It's looking like it's going to bunch right here. You can take and you can iron your fabric if you like. You know, I just don't. I don't really know how to iron that well. And it's just, I got one of those great old big ones, and it's more headache than it's worth. To me it is, you know, to you it may not be, but to me it's just it's a whole lot of headache. So I got that, and while I got this here gushing out, and I chose to put it on these brown folders just because I did not want went plumb down the daggum table. Plumb down the table. Yeah, so I chose to put this one in this vanilla folder, or brown folder. And this is a little bit thinner fabric, and yeah, you can see through it a little bit. But I think it gives it a good tone in behind it, where it's not that bright fluorescent teal. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. I hope so, because it didn't come out like it made sense. So I put it on the brown folder because, you know, without the brown folder behind it, if you put white behind it, that's super bright. So it's just trying to tone down the brightness of the fabric is what I'm saying. Now it probably would have looked a whole lot better in different color actually if I put it on the white one. But I didn't want the fabric to be bright, because it's going to be a super bright fabric. And it's got a piece of the tape on it where it was wrapped up. I'm trying to get that off. Okay. Yeah, I went digging to find the inside cover for that pink one, and I found this, and I was like, shut up, that is perfect for that butterfly. So we had an incident yesterday in a little community in our area that's known as Toast, which is up by where I work. The ice truck, ice remover scraper truck came to scrape the road. Well, it slid off the road, hit a vehicle, and then continued sliding into the people's house. So that happened yesterday. I was like, well, if they're going to be doing stuff like that, I might not want them to come scrape, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, you know, that just goes to show you how super slick this stuff is anyways, you know what I mean? And so there's been several incidents like that where, you know, the plows have slipped off the road and caught on fire and turned over and whatever else. There was actually one on 77 caught on fire. I don't know how far up it was from us. Whoopsie. But there's been quite a few incidences with the ice removal vehicles. Okie dokie, so now let's get these put down, get them put together. And then we'll have two journals covers ready to go. What I really needed to be doing while I was sitting here today just relaxing and watching nothing but reels on Facebook was I really needed to have my behind up fussy cutting like nobody's business. That's what I really needed to be doing. I just didn't feel like it. Like I said, my back's been kind of cramping up and stuff and twinging up ever since I was outside. I guess where I just kept myself stiffened up with the, you know, the anticipation of possibly falling if I move too quick, you know what I'm saying? And you have bad backs and stuff like that. You just, that's all you need to do is slip and fall in this mess. How much can I get before I slip and fall in my own yard? Not too much. Shouldn't have had yourself outside. And everybody's worried about me wanting to get out to go to work, and I was like, shoot, when I stepped out there yesterday, I was like, dang, this is worse than what I thought. I mean, truly, that was it. I mean, you know, I knew a day or two, but when I stepped out there yesterday, I said, whoa. Because because I stepped out and I stepped onto it and my feet just went like this. I was like, no, no. So then I did the scoochy feet, you know, till I got to the car. And I held on it, walking all the way around it. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to slide up underneath one of these things. Still hadn't got the ice broke away from where the windshield wipers on the one car. I was trying to get that cleaned off. Should have been smart and been like my neighbors up north and put the windshield wiper blades up in the air is what I should have did. But you know, we ain't that smart down here. But I do see that a lot in cars that are up there that are on this that they're showing. It's like on the side of the road when they plow and stuff like that. You know, pretty much every car has the windshield wipers up in the air. And I was like, why do they do that for? And they're like, well, because the first thing you want to do when you get in the car is automatically turn your windshield wiper on. And that is true without even thinking about it. Yep. And then with your blade froze to the windshield, then it's going to rip it off. So then, yeah. I was like, yeah, okay. That makes sense. And I learned that on watching the Weather Channel. They do all these explanations and helpful hints and tips of stuff to do to prepare for weather. And to help you afterwards. But like I said, there ain't really a whole lot you can do to prepare for 4 inches of ice. And that's what we got, 4 inches of sleet. And what's so bad is it's not getting, you know, the sun will come out, it'll melt a little bit, but it's not getting, you know, above, the feels like temperature is not being above freezing. You know what I mean? And that's what's hindering the melt here. Is that it has not been above freezing outside all week. That is the worst thing. You know, so everybody's like, well, what's the temperature? The temperature says that it is, it got to 33, but the feels like says it was 27 degrees all day. So I'm sorry, but to me, the feels like temperature is what wins on that situation. If that's what it feels like, then that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Then that's what the degrees are. So, none of us that work could get out and go Monday. Sunday, he just said, you know, don't worry about it. We're just going to keep it closed. Because I was like, well, they're calling for more and heavier than what we got yesterday. Actually, we're supposed to get as much as we got Saturday in this little 3 to 4 hour span this evening. So, it is going to be super bad. And that is exactly what happened. We got just as much in that 4 hour band of heavy sleet Sunday evening as we did Saturday. I'm not too bad worried about these corners. They're going to be put underneath the corner protectors anyways. But I still do want them, you know, stuck down. I don't want them sticking straight up in the air like that. Okay, well, I think I got more Fabri-Tac on my finger than I did the book that time. Alrighty. everybody else doing good? Are y'all hanging in there? Has anybody heard from our friends? Any friends in Tennessee? I hadn't heard from Miss Deborah. Really super worried about her because I know she lives in and around the Nashville area. And from what I've seen, Nashville is just pretty much just disaster zone with trees down and power outages and stuff. I hope she's all right. So I was afraid to try to call or contact her, you know, because you don't have power. I know good and well you ain't got phone or nothing like that, you know what I mean? And what phone usage you do have, you know, you need it to use for emergencies. Not to be talking to somebody that lives the next state over. It's just being, you know, wanting to find out what's up. And that's really not what I would be doing. I'd be, you know, genuinely calling with concern to ask her if she's okay. Wow. What in the heck? These little bottle caps are just irking the last good nerve today. Alrighty, so I don't reckon it matters 2 cents about where that's at on there. Let's see, let me find my corner at things protectors and get them. Get me a drink. Look, I got YouTube playing in the background, and apparently it's got one of my videos playing, and I'm making a Christmas cover out of a napkin. No, a table napkin, cloth or whatever it is, placemat. There you go. When I shoot a video, I'll turn my TV down, just let it play whatever it's playing. Then when I get done, I'll just turn the volume back up. And then most of the time, I'll keep on crafting and doing whatever. Some nights I'm like, I've just had enough. I just need to mindlessly sit in the corner and do nothing, you know. Especially when you got body aches and stuff hurts, and just like, I just need to mindlessly sit in the corner and just, you know, do nothing. And go down the rabbit holes of the Facebook reels or whatever it is. I don't do YouTube reels or shorts or anything like that on my channel. I hadn't got that far advanced. I just have, you know, figured out how to get videos stayed uploaded. And somehow or another this week, I don't know what was going on. Every time I put up one to upload, if I put it in like it was going to be like uploaded later, you know, like a timed upload, it was saying it was in a draft. And I was like, I ain't got no draft. What are you talking about? I was like, no, I scheduled it to upload it this time. So why the heck ain't my video up? Because it kept putting them in a section called drafts. And I was like, what the heck? So I didn't make no draft on a video, and I upload it how I normally do. And I didn't go through the YouTube studio or nothing like that. I just uploaded it straight from my phone like normal. And 2 videos this week it done that to me, because I shot them in the afternoon, and it said that it was in the draft. So I had to go in and edit it real quick and get it to put up. And then it was also these envelopes are not exactly the same daggum size. It's kind of irritating, ain't it? It's alright. I'm snipping these little bits off the corners. You don't want to act right, you're getting cut off. Getting cut out. cut you out of her. Well, I hope y'all have enjoyed these cover makes here. It's just what I was working on. Like I said, I dug the one out to go with that one, and then I said, well, let me go on ahead and get this one out while I was in there digging. And I just cut them last night and just had them laying here, so I was like, well, I'll just do that today. I'm going to go ahead and put my stuff on here. Whew. Mm, 6 and 6. There's my pen at. That is right there in the very dark spot of that butterfly. Yeah, these envelopes are definitely not the same size. Let's see. I just seen a minute ago while I was getting ready to film that Carrie had uploaded a video. I gotta go watch that. I don't know if it was alive or whatnot. I just seen Carrie the paper monkey come across there. Oopsie. I don't have a whole lot of people that I watch have to watch every single day, but I try my best to try to watch, Carrie's, her replay of her live. I never seem to be able to catch it on her live, because usually Saturday mornings I'm asleep. And I get up and go do all my running Saturday during the afternoon. So this Saturday I was up just because I had to go do some last minute running for Stuff for the Storm, and I caught her live this weekend. That did not do. You did not do right. I think it was because I had my thing upside down. Yeah, I did have it upside down. Anybody else's little handles off of their things slide off all the time? No, maybe it's just me. Oh. Now, why are you not lining up? What is wrong with you? It's probably what's wrong with it is I'm blind as a bat, for one thing. Can't see what I'm doing. But just get off of there. Sea Mist is the color of this, and I actually like that, so I'm going to put it on my in my reorder pouch. Now, I don't know how big this one's going to wind up being. It might be a fat one, a fat, tall, skinny one, and it might not be, so who knows. Depends on how many pages I put in it. But I like doing butterfly things because it reminds me of my Aunt Gwen that passed away. Every time I see a butterfly or anything like that, it reminds me of her. It's like she's, you know, come to visit. And because she loved butterflies, she had butterflies throughout her home. She had these hair clips that were butterflies. And then she had several shirts that had butterflies on them. And then I always remember, like, it seemed like every house that she lived in, she had these mirrors in her living room. You know, this is when I was little. I was like, oh look, Aunt Gwen always finds houses that have butterfly mirrors. You know, I was small. You know, I didn't know that you took the mirror off the wall and moved it with the house. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, she always had the butterfly mirrors hanging up in her living room. And I was like, yeah, she always had butterfly mirrors in her living room. So, you know, then later on when I grew up and had to move several different times throughout my adulthood, I figured out why she always seemed to find a house that had mirrors. Because she moved the mirrors that were attached to the wall. It's funny things that you perceive when you're little. And then you find out when you're an adult that, yeah, that's not what really happens. You just take it off the wall and pack it up and move it with you. But yeah, I remember thinking that when I was little, how amazed I was that my Aunt Gwen always seemed to find a house that had butterfly mirrors in it. So a lot of my stuff that like metal fencing and trellises and stuff like that I have in my garden, or that I use for my garden, like to trellis beans and cucumbers and stuff like that on, or like black wrought iron with butterflies in them. And then I have some that have bees on them for like the flower garden. It's real pretty to walk out there. And I had this planter bed that you look out the back door and it runs long ways. And I have one that's a U shape that's long ways with, so they run like this. This one here is in a U shape that goes like that. But this one, so the one in the front, it was like an 8 foot by 1.5 foot tall, 2 foot wide bed. So I'd take and put cucumbers in it, and then once the cucumbers gave out, I'd pull them out midsummer, plant beans, running beans where it'd run up the trellis, and then I'd take and plant bush beans at the bottom. So then the bed behind it had peppers of all assortments and tomatoes, and then had one big square, so like it was in a U shape like this. So these had sections and this had sections. So the one section in the middle was a big 4 by 4 foot square, and I always planted squash or zucchini plants in that, and just let them just take over that whole bed. And then I had 2 sections out beside the house where I took just like some cheap pine fencing and the little blocks that you could slide the wood down in, and made garden beds there. It was like 5.5 foot wide by 12 foot long, and they were in ground gardens, but I took and put down boxes to help kill the weed grass and all of that, and then I took and put the dirt and stuff on it. And then after the first year, I got me a little tiller, and I'd go out there and just till those sections up to replant in, and they did really good. I mean, we've always had a good garden here on this land. Even when I was a kid, we had really good gardens. But then, like, trees started breaking, limbs falling out. Some were dying down because we had a lot of moles in the yard. So then we cut several trees. It started off with the neighbor over here was clearing land and cut 2 of the big oak trees down that he was afraid was going to fall in his rental house here. So when that happened, it opened up the whole backyard. Was light was different on it. And then we cut the trees down in the front before they fell on the house, and that opened up the whole side yard and front yard where the sun and the light fell different across the yard. So it was completely different growing area then when all of that happened. Just because the sun fell different, and it was, it didn't get the shade like it needed to in the afternoon, and it was just hot. It needed to be, so I just started putting peppers in those beds, and they did great. Or you could do like indeterminate tomatoes and stuff, where they would only grow a certain height, put off so much fruit, and then they were done. I did a bunch of those in that bed. This here's got a big old thing of glue right there that don't want to allow me to fold this thing straight. It keeps wanting to push it either too far frontwards or too far backwards. But we're gonna make you do what I want. Okay. Still not lined up how I want it. Daggone it. That pisses me off. There we go. It's all because of that big batch of glue right there. Okay, that's better than what it was. It was way up here. Okay. Well, so there's our cover. See, look how that buckled because that big old patch of glue there. Irritating. Okay, I'm done wrestling with it. My hands are hurting now. Yeah, see, it's just off a hair. Gosh, dang, that's irritating me, man. That irritates me so bad. I have done this, and I've broke one of these, like, been in it like that, and it popped me in the face. So I'm trying not to do that, at least. Okie dokie. Alright, that's close enough. That's better. Leave it alone. I'll wind up ripping the daggum fabric trying to get it straightened up. That's what I'm going to do. And apparently I busted my knuckles somehow cleaning ice off the car. It has been really smarting. So this is going to be the journal. The journal cover that goes with this. I think that's going to go pretty decent with that. Yeah, that's going to work pretty good with that. I think so. Okie dokie. I just got to get it cut apart. Get it cut apart, and we'll work on some more bits and pieces. And see, then, like, that's really not going to work out for to be a journal topper now, so we'll just put them in the inside pockets somehow. Somehow or another, that's what we're going to do with them. They'll be in the front and back pockets. So now, I want to see, do I need to put, probably need to just put a little thing of lace or something there. I'll figure out something. I got some of those lace butterflies, I think. Let me see. Just trying to look. So I have this, but I don't want it to be. I love that eyelet stuff hanging out from the bottom of journals. That's just so pretty. But we ain't doing that. I was just looking. I was just seeing. That would be pretty. Yeah, let me save that for something else. Well, I'm going to get off here for today. I'll figure out, I might just put one of these pockets that I made on there and just say the heck with it. I'm going to fold that and put it in there. So now it's got a cover. It's got a few bits and pieces of stuff made for it. And this is how I'm slowly, you know, building my kit stuff. So I got a few bits and pieces made to go in it. You know, I just got to get it fussy cut. It's already printed on the back. I got my cover made. And now when I say I have project kit boxes, that's what this would be. So once it comes from the fussy cutter, I'll put it, you know, I got the cover, the pages, you know, bits and pieces that I've already worked on to go specifically with that kit. And then I'll put it over here. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a whole journal kit. All I gotta do is just feel like working on it that day. So that's what I've been trying to do slowly in the background, is get stuff together. Like this one here, I think it would be super pretty to take in and put like some lace, just some pretty lace colored pages in it with some coffee dye or tea dye. Put one of these in here. Love that. Super duper love that. I had that other one, but I don't think it went. I didn't think it went with it. This one here, it's more sunflowers. Yeah, so we'll make another stack pocket to go with this, because that's kind of what I want in the front and back, is those. Then have a big old tag coming out the top with white lace stuff coming out the top. I'm thinking it's going to be pretty. And then if I did that, you know, and I have a bunch of things like this that we could pull to put in it, that would be super duper pretty in there. So let's do that. And that would be pretty in there. And then that would be pretty in there. So I think that would be super pretty in that. I don't know, that's a little dark, ain't it, for that? Let's put that back. I've got another pink one, and it's fall time. Look, here's these butterflies. I think we can make these work in that kit, because they're really neutral. I think that would work. That would go in here, wouldn't it? So we got two belly bands, and then we have, this could be a side tuck on the pages. So there's those pieces for that. I'm gonna pull these, because it has a bunch of the browns and the creams in it. And pull these to put in here with this for its ephemera. So there's a few more pieces for that. You see what I'm saying? This is how I work and build stuff. So when I'm like, oh yeah, oh look, that would, it's too yellow to go in that. But this is how I make and pull things. That would be pretty in here. With just a pink. So with that. Not really, you know, particularly roses or what have you. It's just the pretty. There we go. There's the 2 more pockets. Ooh, that's a real pretty pink pocket too, ain't it? I like that so far. These are purple bits. It's a pink side tuck. And look, here's another pink rose side tuck. So that's an off pocket. Got some, ooh, there we go. And that matches that, so there we go. There's the pockets and tuck spots for it. I mean, that's why I like, you know, having the ephemera pre-made for it. I think that would be super duper pretty. I'm happy with that. Then we'll just pull out our tags and journal cards. Now I just gotta get the pages together. So let me pull out a pack and put all of that in there together. And that could be as simple as, like I said, just pulling coffee dye and tea dye papers. So you got your cover. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's exactly what you need. Go in a journal. That's your 6 tucks and belly bands, or your 6 tuck spots to go in here. And turn them this way. And take my cover. Oh, and then we need to make one of those for it. Project for tomorrow. There we go. Alrighty, well, that needs to be laid down, don't it? I'll just put it behind it next time. So there's that kit together. I don't really know if I have a floral kit to go with that, but this one here I need to get fussy cut. I'm just getting kits ready to go for springtime, because I didn't really have any ephemera. Y'all know that. I had to make a whole lot of stuff. So then we'll make that stacked book page pocket. I need to get the wide ones out. Let's go on ahead and size that up. 5 inches, perfect. 1, 2, 2 big, not too big. Do not have any more that's cut. Oh, come here. Alrighty. We'll do it to about 8 inches. That'll be that. So that'll be our pocket for the other side. I think that's what that one was, wasn't it? It was 3 pockets on it. Let's see. 1, 2, yeah, 3. Well, 3 of these here. So we'll do that tomorrow. We'll decorate that up. Put us some pink rosy bits on it and some lace and such. And that'll be our front pocket. So then we need to make us 2 really big journal cards and our tags to go in it. Okie dokie. So there we go. We'll just do that tomorrow, and that'll be our pocket for in there. will. I'm going to use these here across the top of that pockets and try to use some of that up. I really need to get that used up. I was thinking I had a bigger floral. Apparently I don't have a bigger one. We'll use these here. They're a little more pink. They're a little more pinkish. Yep. That's what we'll use to make our pocket with. I don't know if I'm going to work tomorrow or not either, because I know I'm not working tomorrow, because he already told me that the other girl was going to come in for me to stay home and then see how it looked, because, you know, there ain't really a whole lot I can do about, you know, the ice out here. It's just irritating, that's all. It's just greatly irritating. Okay, let's cut this edge here off. Make it 5 inches, and it's evened up and squared up. All right, there's our bits to make the stack pocket for the front piece tomorrow with. Then we'll put us a little bit of lace and stuff on it, you know, dress it up a little bit. And then all we gotta do is pick out some pages to go in that. And you know what? I want to use some of those Carolyn Musing lace pages. And I think that would be super pretty to make a journal like that. I love it. It's cute. So I know I'm just rambling on. Sorry. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.